Hey guys, welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. So before I get started with my reading update, etc., and kicking off this vlog for the start of the week, I do want to say that this week's vlog is going to be a little bit different. I think I'm going to be wrapping it up on Friday evening, and I'm going to be posting a separate weekend vlog. You guys know that my vlogs have been getting kind of long recently. That is not the reason that I'm doing it though. You guys seem to be loving the longer vlogs, and I obviously do have a lot of content to give you because I'm not intentionally making my vlogs long. It's just that's how much I have to say to you in a week. So instead of a long vlog this week, we are going to be having two short ones. You will have technically Tuesday to Friday now because I didn't vlog yesterday. Time just got away with me. And then I will be doing a separate weekend vlog. I'm not going to tell you why exactly I'm doing a weekend reading vlog just yet, but just to give you a little hint, it has something to do with this lovely subscription box that was sent to me by Shelflove. I now have a rep code for Shelflove as well, so if you do want to purchase any of their boxes, then I will put it in my description box. It is Becca10 and it will get you 10% off your purchase. However, that is not why I'm here today. This lovely stuff will all come at the weekend. I'll do an unboxing for you, etc. And I'm also doing something else really special in that video that I hope that you're going to enjoy. However, I just wanted to let you know that I would be splitting the vlogs up this week. I don't even know why I needed to tell you. I could have just waited till Friday and said, I'm going to cut this off now and do a weekend reading vlog. But apparently that's need to know information and you need to know it right now. So as usual, we will start off with my currently reading at the beginning of the week. I am, of course, still reading The Queens of Innislea. Will I ever finish this book? The jury is out on that one, but I think the answer is going to be no. I am going to finish this book. Whether it's now, next week, next month, next year, I couldn't tell you. But I am on page 432 of about 580. About 565. So I have 130 pages left. I mean, come on, I could knock this out in a day, but apparently I don't want to. Also, this is not on my Bookopoly TBR, or it was on my Bookopoly TBR in May. Still haven't finished it. I'm reading like 20 pages a week. It's a real pain. I'm suffering, and I like it. I like the book. The writing is absolutely beautiful. I'm just not finishing it, and I don't know why. So on to, let's say, more relevant books, because these are actually on my TBR for July. The first one I'm currently reading is Illuminae by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I do actually have to check where I'm up to in this because I did listen to the audiobook a little bit and I haven't changed my page. I'm on page 88 of 599. This is not on my Bookopoly TBR, but this is on my Book Junkie Trials TBR, and this is the third book that I have to read for that, and it is To Fulfill the Prompt Glimmer, which is to read a beautiful book. I selected this because it is very colourful and nice, and it's also pretty on the inside because of mixed media. Now, the reason that I'm reading this so slowly is because I'm reading alongside the audiobook. You guys recommended that I do that. You said it was the best way to ingest this story, and I agree with you. It's a very immersive experience and I am enjoying myself. The only problem is that I don't speed up audiobooks because audio stimulation, is that the right word, does not do great things to me. I don't generally listen to audiobooks. I have a very like low tolerance threshold for noise like constantly in my ears. So for example, I can only have noise in my ears for like 20 minutes before I start to go crazy. So listening to like big chunks of audiobooks or long audiobooks generally doesn't work for me. Now in this case I don't mind because I'm also reading along, so it detracts away from the constant noise in my ears. The only problem is that then that limits the amount of time that I can dedicate to reading this because I pretty much have to be like in bed, audiobook, physical book. I don't want to skip any of the audiobook and just read it physically because I do think that the audiobook definitely helps and aids the enjoyment of reading this book, but I can't just listen to the audiobook either because the audiobook does not provide all of the content in this book. I'll just to give you an example, there are like 3 pages of ship schematics here that the audiobook just does not narrate at all. So all of the work that's gone into this book just isn't translated into audiobook. And then there is also a chapter that has, you probably can't see that, but it has strikeouts in it, and that is to indicate the parts of the text that has been removed by censors, and that isn't in the audiobook either. It's just all read as like one account without the indication of what has been censored. So I definitely don't think that just listening to the audiobook is the way to go on this. I would recommend reading along if you are going to listen to the audiobook, but it's definitely a fantastic and immersive experience. sometimes I just don't like to speed up audiobooks because I can't process the information in my brain fast enough, but my eyes read faster than the audiobook narrator. So I listened to like an hour of the audiobook and I was only on page 40. So it's slow going and I have a big TBR, so that's driving me a little bit crazy. So I want to enjoy this book, but I also have a hell of a lot to read. The other book that I'm currently reading is on my Bookopoly TBR, and that is Storm of Swords Part 2 Blood and Gold by George R.R. Martin. If you are participating in the read along that I'm hosting for this, the live show is going to be on the 21st of this month. We don't have a time set out yet, but it is likely to be 8 p.m. BST because we're not in GMT anymore, which is around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I think. I do need to announce it on the Twitter. I'm crazy busy. Like, I feel like I have no time to breathe. I only stopped moving at like, what time is it now? 8 p.m? 8 p.m. and I'm still doing vlog updates. I definitely need to announce that, but it is definitely on the 21st of July. I think it's going to be on my channel and I think it's going to be at 8 p.m. BST. I think this is my 4th Bookopoly roll and the prompt is to read an adult fantasy, and this is also my 4th book for the Book Junkie Trials, and this will fulfill the prompt for the Draconic Isle, which is to read a book that features dragons, as we all know Game of Thrones does. If you don't know what this is about, it is an adult epic high fantasy, multi-perspective, but you guys know what this is about. So I'm currently on page 258 of this. If you want to know where I'm up to without spoilers, I think it's the 3rd wedding of this book. I'm up to wedding number 3. I think the last wedding maybe. So far we've had 3 big things that happened just in the second half, and I'm a little bit shook because some of these things I thought happened in the 4th book, but apparently everything goes down in this. So I don't even know what's going to happen in Feast for Crows. Like, I have no idea what's going to go down in that book because everything is happening here. I'm definitely enjoying it a whole ton though. I think Storm of Swords, well, I know Storm of Swords is my favourite book in the series so far. I am reading this slowly because I do like to read George R.R. Martin books in smaller chunks. They're not particularly dense or hard to read, it's just I want to remember the information, and I'm also looking for bits of foreshadowing and lore and things like that. So I want to be able to process that information so that when it's referred to later on I can remember like where it originally came up, if that makes sense. But I'm definitely enjoying this a lot so far as well. So these are the 2 books that I'm mainly reading, I would say. This is like my daytime book. This is my at-home focus book. As you can tell, it's slow going with both of them. Last week I said I wanted to be reading 3 books a week. I read 2 last week. I don't know when I'm going to finish these, and yeah, it's a whole hot mess. I'm worried about my July TBR, guys. I'm seriously worried, but we're not going to freak out until July 31st. At least there's 31 days in the month actually, but still, not gonna freak out until July 31st. Then you'll never hear from me again. I'm just gonna delete my channel and pretend this whole thing never happened. So aside from that, I have been to the library today. I just picked up a book that I'd reserved. I didn't go crazy and just pick up random things that looked interesting like I normally do. I went because I had to return and take back out a book because I'd had it for too long and it wouldn't let me renew it without taking it back into the library. And I collected the book that I'd reserved while it was there, which is Stardust by Neil Gaiman. Now this is the large print copy, so it's not a nice one, but strangely, considering this is by Neil Gaiman, who is a very popular fantasy author, and he's even popular in this country, like, you don't see a whole ton of fantasy in the UK in places like libraries or charity shops or car boot sales. I feel like the majority of the UK, based on the popular books that I see around, you know what it's like every secondhand bookstore you go in anywhere in the world, like they have a copy of 50 Shades of Grey. So those kinds of books that you see all the time, if I based my judgment on what the UK read on those books that I see everywhere all the time, I would say that the UK only reads women's lit and crime/thrillers. Fantasy is rare to find, but Neil Gaiman is pretty common. He's wrote a lot of books, he's really popular, and considering that my library only had an audiobook copy, an ebook copy, or a large print copy, so they don't have any normal editions of Stardust, which was interesting. But this is the group book for the Book Junkie Trials, which is why I've got it out. There's no like special reason why I wanted this one aside from it's the group book for the Book Junkie Trials. So essentially these 3 books are the rest of my Book Junkie Trials TBR, like my compulsory Mage TBR, and then I'm just gonna wander anywhere if I make it that far, which at this rate I'm not going to. So Stardust is about a boy called Tristan who is in love with a girl named Victoria, and if I remember rightly from the film, like, she's a right snotty bitch, and he's a nice boy who's in love with this pretty girl, and to prove his love he is going to find a falling star or a fallen star and bring it back to her. And this is like very whimsical and fairy tale-esque. I love the movie. I haven't read the book, but I do love the movie. I don't remember a whole ton about it because I haven't watched it in years, and I'm considering rewatching that soon when I've read the book. I have heard that the movie does do a slightly better job than the book, but the only book that I've read by Neil Gaiman is Norse mythology, which I gave 3 stars. It was just okay, but I have been eager to read some of his original work because Norse mythology was very kind of, I don't want to say it was necessarily true to the myths that it was based on, but it was very much in a myth style, and I want to know what he can do when he can write whatever he wants and he's not tied down to the myths that he's retelling. So that's all I have for this update. It is 8:10. I am going to get into my pajamas, do some reading, maybe do a little bit of editing once I've listened to a little bit of Illuminae. Curtis is out tonight, so I have the whole bed to myself, and I'm very excited about that. I don't know why I'm so hyperactive. I really don't, but I am. So like I said, haven't had a lot of time to read recently, so I am hoping to make the most of this evening, and while it's all quiet and I can just sit and read and listen to Illuminae, I'm hoping to get a chunk of that done. Hey guys, so I am just about to head off to yoga, but I am here to check in with you. Fun fact, I've already done this update once, but I just feel like it was a whole hot mess and I just really want to do it again because I just wasn't feeling good about it, so here we are. So we'll start off with a reading update. I haven't started anything new. I am still reading Storm of Swords and Illuminae. Storm of Swords, I'm now up to page 308. I'm still really enjoying this. I've read about 50 pages today. I think all of the main events of the book are over now, but I can't be sure because my memory isn't that great. Like, I've only watched all of Game of Thrones once, so we could have some more interesting things going on in here, but I think all of the really big things have happened at this point, so I'm interested to see how this book's going to wrap up. Now, as for Illuminae, I realized yesterday that I didn't tell you what it was about. As you guys probably know, this is a young adult science fiction. It's told in mixed media, like everybody says that, and it follows a teenage boy and girl who have just broken up. Now, the day after they break up, the planet that they live on is attacked by this corporation. They are both evacuated onto different spaceships. There are 3 ships in total, and they have ended up on separate ones. Now, I knew nothing else about this book going into it aside from that, and it is very different than I thought it would be. So the bulk of this story, at least where I'm up to now on page 228, is that they are traveling on these ships. The ships have been damaged in the attack on the planet, and because of this they aren't able to make a space jump, so they can't get to civilization, so they are having to manually travel through space, and the nearest place where they can make a jump is several months away. The problem is that the warship that attacked the planet is following behind them. The main ship in this mini fleet is a warship, and in the attack their artificial intelligence system Aiden was seriously compromised, and they have had to shut him down for maintenance. However, because of this, it has seriously reduced the speed at which they can travel, and the warship that attacked the planet is now gaining on them rapidly. So that's kind of the main plot line, but there's also like a whole lot of other stuff going on in here that I didn't expect. I didn't expect this to be so dark and brutal, but like, it's co-authored by J. Crystal, so I really should have known. And somebody in the comments of one of my videos did say that this book reminded them of 28 Days Later, and I was like, isn't that the zombie movie? To which they said yes, and then I thought, well, that's weird, but okay. Now I totally see why it reminds them of 28 Days Later, and I am kind of shook. Like, I can't lie, I was not expecting that. So as I said, I'm listening to the audiobook while I read along. I thought that would be really tedious, and I thought I would not dread my time reading this, but because it takes a lot longer to read it that way than just to physically read it, I thought that after say 30 minutes I would be wanting to put this down and move on to other things, but I'm actually finding that when I'm picking this up and reading it, I'm just so compelled to continue. I'm only on page 230-ish, so I still have nearly 2/3 of the book left, so it is still going to take me a while, but I do think that this may be faster than I originally anticipated just because of how much I actually want to read it. Now, the last thing I have to show you is that I got a little bit of book mail in the last clip that we're not using. I did unbox it, but obviously I'm showing you them here again, so we won't be unboxing them this time. But today I received the Newt's Magical Readathon bookmarks. Now, these have been created by G. I'm going to insert like a clip so that you can see all the art on them because there's quite a few. But these are created by G from Book Roast, who is the host of the Magical Readathon, and here we have a bookmark for every single subject of the notes, and the idea is that you use them for the books that you are reading for each subject. Now I won't be sitting all of the subjects for the notes because I didn't pass all of them at Owl's level to start off with. I don't know how I'm going to do it with Bookopoly and also the fact I'm going to Rome in August, but I think I will be focusing on just a couple of subjects. But these were absolutely stunning. I mean, I'll just show you a close-up of the one that just says Silence Notes in Progress. They all also have the Magical Readathon logo on the back, which I thought was a nice touch. I love the font for the subjects, and then also they're just so damn beautiful. So thank you very much, G, for creating such a beautiful product. I will link G's Etsy shop down in the description box. I don't think she has any in stock at the minute, and she won't be restocking them until she gets back on a holiday, but I will put her shop down there because I think you can set notifications to let you know when people are back off holiday or when they restock products. So if you would like to get your own set, then that is where I got them from. So that is all I have for this update. I'm going to be heading to yoga in about 15 minutes, and when I get back I'm going to be editing my video for tomorrow. It's the mid-year book freakout tag. I have quite a bit of footage, but I don't think it's going to take me that long to edit it down, and then when I'm done with that, hopefully I will have some time left over to carry on reading Illuminae. I'd like to get another chunk done today. I can't tell you how much I'm going to get read, but I would like to dive back into this. It is taking me a while, and it has taken me a while to get to the point where I'm up to, but I know there are some thick black sections in here. I don't know. I think the black sections have something to do with Aiden. I don't know why I think that. I just think that they do. And also I haven't been reading because, like, spoilers, but the black sections have a lot less text on than these white sections at the beginning do. So I do feel like when I get further into the book, it will be taking me less time to read each page, but we will see, and I will bring you another check-in a little bit later in the week to let you know how I've been getting on. Hey guys, so it is Thursday evening and I can confirm that in the east of Yorkshire it is hot as balls. It is so warm today. I don't know why. This morning was like pretty grey and dull, but I'm seriously sweating and it's not enjoyable. So this is just going to be a quick little update because I haven't finished anything as of yet. I haven't started anything new. I don't think I have anything to show you. Nothing arrived in the mail today that's very exciting. So for a little bit of a quick reading update, I have only read about 10 pages of Game of Thrones today, so I'm around the page 320 mark, but I have read a whole ton of Illuminae. So I'm on page 370, and you guys did not tell me about the horror aspect of this book. Like, I know I mentioned briefly that it has like a couple of horror type things going on here, but this book is seriously like setting me on edge. I don't want to spoil it. I don't really want to go into too much detail because I went into this really blind, just knowing it was mixed media sci-fi, and I am having a great time reading it. But there are definitely some things happening in here that border on sci-fi horror, and I think a technique that's used in here that really builds the tension is that every few pages you have a countdown to something. So after the first 150 pages, things really start to get going in here, and you will have a page that says like this amount of time until this thing happens, and then you'll have another 10-20 pages, and then it'll be like the next step of the countdown, and there's less and less time with every one. And then we also have like another version of that that's a little bit later in the book that is giving you statistics. So it's like this amount of things has happened and this percent of people are doing this, and that, oh god, it's just, I am so on edge. I love this so much. I'm like real deep in the action. So I'm on, did I tell you I'm on page 370? So I have 230 pages left, so I still have a ways to go. I've just wrapped up some candle orders. It is 6:15. I have a cup of tea, so I'm going to go and drink that. I'm going to have a shower and dermaplane because your girl is getting hairy as hell again, and then I'm gonna do my nails because it has been 2 weeks I've been meaning to do them and I just haven't had time. So normally when I do my nails I watch TV, I watch Netflix, and that's pretty much the only time that I dedicate to watching television. So I normally will watch like 2 episodes of a show every 2 weeks, and that's why like I end up watching virtually nothing. I do need to catch up on 2 episodes of Children of the Whales because I read volume 3 last week, so I need to watch the 2 episodes that correspond to that volume. I also still have 1 episode of season 3 of Riverdale to watch that has been waiting for me for weeks, and I also haven't started season 3 of Stranger Things, although I think I might watch that in bed with Curtis, maybe tonight. Yeah, because I don't think I'm going to be working until late in the night tonight or editing or anything, so we could maybe start watching that tonight. But normally I watch TV when I do my nails. Today I'm going to try and read Illuminae, I am listening to the audiobook and reading it physically, but I don't have to follow every single page physically. I just like to be on the right page in case there's anything graphic in the book that I want to look at. So I think I'm going to put the audiobook on and just prop the book open because it's like a floppy paperback, so it's quite easy to just lay it open. I do gel nails, so they dry via UV, so there's no like drying time or anything, so I can just flick the pages as I'm going through the audiobook, and that is going to be a grand old time. I want to be really ambitious and say I want to finish this tonight. It's probably not going to happen, but I'm thinking at the speed that I'm going, I may have this done by tomorrow, which I definitely did not expect with the rate that I've been reading it over the last 2 days. Okay, so I'm still doing my nails, I'm listening to and reading Illuminae, but I'm on page 406 now, and on page 400 we had one of those updates that I was talking about that like really builds attention because it's like counting down to something and like updating things every so often. If you've read it, you'll know what I mean. But I think that something's just happened, and if that thing's just happened, like there was a very small change in like the updates, and if that thing has just happened, I'm shook, but at the same time, I don't know who it's happened to. I know there's at least 3 people, here that it could have happened to, but I'm feeling a type of way, and I can't spoil Illuminae for you, but I'm feeling a type of way. And I'm shook. Oh my god. Hey, so I came out into the garden so I could talk to you because Curtis is playing guitar inside. I just got to like a really big plot twist in Illuminae, and I think I'm in denial. I'm not sure I believe it right now. I don't think it's fake. I'm shook. That thing that I thought was happening, it maybe happened, but it wasn't as dramatic as I thought it was going to be. And then I did not see that come in. So I'm in recovery. I finished my nails, so I'm gonna wrap up this update. I'm gonna go get myself a kind of raspberry Pepsi Max and a chocolate muffin, and then I'm going to continue on for a little bit and then maybe start editing this vlog. Also, when I was dermaplaning, I shaved off the end of my eyebrow. So I'm having a bad day all round. I'm gonna have to draw this on, so you probably won't see it because I'll be drawing it on for a few weeks, but yeah, I shaved off the end of my eyebrow. I knew I was gonna do it. I was doing my head up here and I was like, if you carry on, you're gonna shave off the end of your eyebrow, and then 10 seconds later, just gone. So yeah, I'm gonna go get a drink, get my muffin, and continue for a little bit. Hey, so last night I was reading Illuminae by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I went to sleep last night with 30 pages of this left. I'm gonna hold it in this hand. I had 30 pages left. And normally I wouldn't do that, but I'd already read I read over 300 pages of this last night. I think I read about 310 pages. So my brain was melting, and it was like sometime between midnight and 1 in the morning. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be a zombie today, so I should probably get some sleep. So this morning on the way to work, I tried to finish it, didn't manage it. I arrived at work with 12 pages left, and then I finally finished it on my lunch. Guys, I gave this 5 stars. I loved this. Now, as I've said 1,000 times, you guys recommended that I listen to the audiobook while reading this. Would highly recommend doing that. I don't think that I would have enjoyed this as much if I had not been able to hear it at the same time as reading it, and I think the same the other way around. So I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much if I was only listening to it and couldn't read it physically. I see why a lot of people don't like this or don't like this as much as other people do. The dialogue can be a little bit cheesy. There is that romance aspect. I really liked the romance aspect in this, and I think that the cheesiness wasn't so bad because I could hear it performed as well. There were some places I noticed when I was reading that I felt like the voice actors didn't use the right tone. So for example, when they were reading a sentence, they didn't put the emphasis in the right place, but that's just being super niggly. And the only thing that I didn't enjoy about the audiobook of this is that some of the mixed media in here is surveillance footage. So this is like the very last chapter, don't read it. But it's surveillance footage, and it is sort of a transcript of a guy who is watching the surveillance footage and then narrating it so that it can be included in the dossier. And I hated that guy's accent. Like literally every time there was one of those portions, I paused the audiobook, read it physically, and then skipped ahead until it was carrying on again. He had a British accent, and it was a southern British accent, but the way that he was reading, it reminded me, and you'll only probably really understand this if you're from the UK, if you are British, but he reminded me of a CBBC presenter. So CBBC is the section of children's programs that is on television around the time that school ends, and you know, like the kind of people who are on Newsround, like that kind of voice. And I just kept thinking about CBBC, and I couldn't take what he was saying seriously because he was like a children's presenter, so I was skipping those parts. But like I said, I really enjoyed the romance in this. The plot twists were just like, they had my head spinning. This could have been a standalone if they'd have wrapped it up a little bit differently. The plot twist right at the end, I like it, but at the same time I don't like it, and I think it would have been more powerful if that particular plot twist didn't exist. But yeah, they could have had it as a standalone if that plot twist hadn't happened, and like essentially if the last like 30-40 pages hadn't happened, this could have been a standalone. Obviously I'm glad that it's a series because I'm so excited to continue. I know most people prefer the first book, although I do also know a lot of people do like Gemina as well, so I'm definitely excited to get more into this. I have already ordered Gemina. I ordered it off Amazon last night, so it will be with me tomorrow, I think. Obviously can't read it until at least August, but you know what I'm like, I like to buy the next book in a series so it's ready. Otherwise, when it comes to me actually being able to read it, I'm just like, oh well, I don't have it. So that is on its way to me. I used the last of my Amazon gift card birthday money on Gemina, so I'm definitely excited to get more from this. It would have definitely been very powerful as a standalone, but I just want more from, not necessarily this story because I know it's different characters, but more of this type of thing, because the things like the horror aspects in here and all of the tension I just was not expecting. I expected this to be sort of a feel-good, like space cadets kicking ass kind of thing.
Where do you want the pad thai stuff?
What stuff?
Pad thai stuff.
Big cupboard.
And bean sprouts.
Fridge. Thank you. I don't remember what I was saying. And now the phone's ringing. So I think I was saying something about how I thought this was going to be like feel good space cadets, like, oh, let's take down the bad guy kind of situation, but there was so much more tension and things like that that I just did not expect. It was a lot more high stakes and a lot more brutal than I thought it would be. It did still have a lot of sarcasm and tongue-in-cheek moments, and you can definitely tell that J. Christoph wrote this, but it was just so much more brutal than I expected it to be, and I'm definitely hyped to get to Gemina, as I've said like 10 times. So now I finished Illuminae, and it's one of my favourite books of the year. I think I'm going to be wrapping up this vlog here because I'm going to be starting a new book tonight, and it kind of makes sense to me to start the new vlog with a new book. As you guys know, I'm also currently reading Storm of Swords Part 2 Blood and Gold. I am up to page 338 in this one. I've only read about 120 pages this week. Obviously I do have to finish this next week, but if all goes well this weekend, I may be able to read just a little bit more of this. Like, this isn't going to be my focus of the weekend, but if I finish the other book I want to read, then I will probably just continue on with this. So that is it for this week's reading vlog, or the first part of this week's reading vlog. Like I said, there will be a weekend reading vlog, which I am going to start straight after I have wrapped up this clip. Please let me know if you have read Illuminae and what you thought about it. Please also don't forget to like this vlog if you liked it, and subscribe if you wanna, but I will see you over the weekend, guys. Bye.
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go and nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.